I'm Scott Jordan. Welcome to the Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, Ohio for another exciting edition of Arena Series in 25. Today we are with Arena Championship Series Central as 8 drivers compete for the overall event championship. Now let's take a look at our driver lineup for Cincinnati. Kristen Anderson, Elvis Linus, Blake Granger, Tony Oaks, Kurt Kramer, Mark Hall, John Zimmer Jr., and Zach Gardner is your lineup. And here we go, time racing up first in Cincinnati. Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger as they hit the brakes right off the line into the straightaway. Coming around the turn, trying to get the truck back into the center, onto the pod, and across the finish line goes Gravedigger, 10.881. Next out onto the track, the exciting rookie John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity, and he goes aggressive, really wide on the turn, gets a nice corner, and now he's got to pick it up here. Brake check around, inching over that pod as he clipped the wheel. That's been giving these drivers trouble all weekend long. 11.799 is the score for terminal velocity. Next up, Kurt Kramer in hot seat. Kramer off the line, great angle on the truck, has to whip the back end around. Now he crushes the turning box, and that is usually a penalty, so we're going to take a look at that here once again as Hotsy goes right up on top, and it is a penalty, 17.214. You cannot take that turning box out of the chalk line or it's 5 seconds added to your time. Next up here is Mark Hall in Raminator. He takes a nice corner, has to break it up on the straightaway, and he's going to clip the pod as well, but continues the momentum. Does end up going far out to the side, and 12.215 is time for Raminator. Zach Gardner in Wildside pulling up to the starting line. He is off and running here in Cincinnati. And he goes nice and tight around the corner, breaks it up, make sure he doesn't hit that turning box, clips the pod, and now has to go wide and make up that ground. Still a great time, 10.896 for Wildside. Out of Lafayette, Louisiana, Blake Granger in Max D. He comes in. He's a huge Cincinnati sports fan. Been rocking a Bengals jersey all weekend long. We'll see if the fans give him some scores later on because of that. He goes really crazy on the turn. Some nice air from Max D, 11.114. Here comes 10-year military veteran Tony Oaks, Soldier Fortune Black Ops pulling up to the line. We got a red light, and now we have a green light, and there goes Tony Oaks. Trying to navigate that 12,000-pound truck through the turn, gets it up, tries to inch over the pod, and then squares back up a little sideways to the right across the line. 10.781 is the time for Tony Oaks. And now here comes Elvis Linus and El Toro Loco. He has had a phenomenal weekend so far at Heritage Bank Center. And now he gets slow in the straightaway, has to crawl his way back to the center, and he goes wide on the finish line, 10.685. And that is enough to get Elvis Linus the racing win. Let's go down to Christina Moore.
Elvis, congratulations. You just secured the first 8 points of the event. The redemption continues. Did you feel going last gave you the advantage?
Honestly, I was just hearing the times getting faster and faster, and I honestly just knew that in the back of my head, but I knew I just had to come out here and execute. We're still battling some weird hiking issues with this truck. I honestly thought that time was going to be that fast, so I was really surprised, and maybe if it wouldn't have done that, it would have probably been faster. But are you guys having fun or what?
Now, coming up next, we have one of your favorite competitions, the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge. Yesterday, you gave us quite the show. What are we expecting to see from you today? Man, hopefully we can top last night's, man. Like I said, it's the last show of the weekend. These trucks don't have to look pretty at all anymore after tonight. Cincinnati, do you guys want to see us go crazy or what?
Elvis Linus getting the crowd hyped up here in Cincinnati. Let's take a look at our first BKT overall point standings of the night. 8 points for Elvis winning the competition. Tony Oaks gets 7. Kristen Anderson with 6. And Zach Gardner with 5. They round out your top 4. 1 in the books, now 3 to go. And up next, it's the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge. Each driver gets 2 attempts at their best maneuver on 2 wheels. Fans in attendance are judging based on creativity, skill, and execution. And up first, it's Kurt Kramer in Hotsy. He comes off the single log with a sky wheelie attempt, and now onto the tires. And trying again, comes off, doesn't get the air he wants, but a nice slack wheelie on the backside of that combo, 4.421. John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity with a nice popper off the pod. Now he's got it right into a moonwalk. No hesitation at all, hitting reverse. Gets the truck going sideways, just saves it on the lip, and a nice first attempt. Comes right back at it, looking for a popper again, this time into a stoppie. Now has the moonwalk. Doesn't like the angle. He is too far pushed over to the right, so he would not have been able to get the truck back up. That right wheel would have gone right into that ditch by the 8-pack. Now he's got it right where he wants it, gets it up, moves it right back down. And John Zimmer Jr. showing off for the fans here in Ohio as we take a look at the Super Glue. Glue to the action replay. 8.094 is the score. That is good enough to take the lead. And Blake Ranger in Max D will try to take the lead away from terminal velocity. He comes off with a stoppie and does not get the truck far enough to make any type of impact. Second attempt all the way across the pot, goes for it again, tries for the moonwalk, and again the back end of the truck not up high enough to make that happen, so 4.074. Here's our time racing winner, Elvis Linus and El Toro Loco. He gets a stoppie right into a moonwalk, and now he's going to hold it there on the base of that ramp right up to the edge and back down in a nose wheelie. The smoke coming out of the Crazy Bull, and now the front end of that truck, the mouth of that body just getting demolished on this track here at the Heritage Bank Arena. He is still going, almost lost it there at the end, but gets it back on all 4 BKT tires. And now for some big air across the pod into a nose wheelie. So he takes something and turns it right into something even bigger. And now he is into a stoppie again, pushes it to the limit. And what a move. Take a look at the Super Glue. Glued to the action replay. The score is in 9.396. Your new leader is Elvis Linus. Fans letting him have it here. Elvis trying to take it 2 out of 2. As Tony Oaks brings Soldier Fortune Black Ops onto the pod. And now comes right down on the ramp. This would be a stoppie attempt if he gets it. Nothing there for Tony Oaks. He'll now try again here for attempt number 2. Right back onto the same spot. Gets it right where he wants it. Hits it. Nice catch. And then a moonwalk and a flip onto the edge. 7.943. Out next, Kristen Anderson. She is in reverse, going to try for reverse stoppie. She gets it right on the wheelie bar, and she is so good at just leaving that black and green wrecking machine sit there in front of these fans. She takes a wheelie up onto the pod and then gets it back down across the other side. Nice move. Second attempt, sky wheelie, vertical air for Kristen Anderson. Perfect execution. As we take a look at the Super Glue Glue to the action replay, there is that wheelie, 9.113. Great score, but not enough to take the lead from Elvis Linus. We continue here the Great Clips 2-Wheel Skills Challenge. Zach Garner in wild side. Edges in reverse to the edge of that pod. Now has it right in the middle. Want to see what he's going to do here. Trying for a reverse stop. He gets it, catches it right into a wheelie. All the way across the pod he goes and back down the other side. And now some issues for Wildside as he is going to be loaded on and taken out of the arena as Raminator now takes it up. So we'll get you some updates on Wildside as we get through the rest of this competition. As Mark Hall takes Raminator for 1 sky wheelie. And what's better than 1 sky wheelie? How about 2 sky wheelies from Mark, 5.175. The lead remains with Elvis Linus, and he takes the win. Back to you, Christina.
2 back-to-back wins. You just secured another 8 points in the pursuit of that overall event championship. Can you talk us through how you execute those nose wheelies? Because you're up in the air, you're balancing so precisely, it's very technical, and you're actually just looking at the floor. So what goes into that?
So honestly, it's very crazy, but when I'm in that truck, honestly, the best way to describe it is if I'm just standing up. When I know I'm like at a 90-degree angle, I know the truck's at a 90-degree angle, and sometimes if we want to walk it backwards, you got to make sure you're almost at a like 70-degree angle. And honestly, I'm really loving this little combo hit off jumping off right here off these 2 loader tires, clipping that, and getting to a moonwalk. Did you guys think that was cool or what?
So coming up next, we have the donut competition. So what are you going to do to ensure that you're back here on the winner's pod?
Man, we're going to go feed some hay to the bull right now, get his smoke right on him. We're going to come out here for donuts, blow some smoke for you guys. I can't wait for the flex cam, man. I got my own camera out here today. I think the Sunday crowd is going to be the craziest crowd. Are you guys ready for more Monster Jam or what?
So Elvis Linus is going to feed the bull some hay. Never thought I'd hear that at a Monster Jam event, but here we go, doubling down, taking the first 2 competitions. He's got 16 points and the event lead. Kristen Anderson with 13, Tony Oaks with 12, and Zach Garner and John Zimmer Jr. with 9 points apiece, rounding out the top 5. Halfway through the event, 2 more competitions remain. And up next, it's the donut competition. Here, fans, again, judging in attendance, looking for momentum and number of revolutions. And Kurt Kramer going to try to throw one down to get it going. He's got the front wheel up in the air. That's what you want to see. 7.316 for Hatzi. Now Elvis Lainez is going to attempt to make it 3 in a row as he takes a crazy bull out onto the track. Goes deep right by Gravedigger. Nice deep in that corner. He's got a lot of space to work with, but he's just too aggressive. And he's going to end up on the roof. 5.514 for El Toro Loco. Zach Gardner in Wildside now. So Wildside back after being taken out. Great to see Zach back on the track. And here we go. Nice, great roost here. Has a nice circle going in this donut. A little fire for the fans, and that is enough to take the lead. 8.396. Kristen Anderson going to try to best that score. She is incredible in this donut competition. However, she's got to worry about that pod. She ran right into the pod, gets the truck back into a nice sweet spot, and now moves it round and round. 8.573. That takes the lead. Out next will be Mark Hall in Raminator as he takes that big 12,000-pound Dodge Ram truck onto the track to try to take the lead away from Gravedigger. Now he's got a good roost going. The back of that truck fighting him just a little bit. As you can see, it's chopping up through that dirt. And Mark Hall's score for Raminator is 7.641. Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops now missing the front part of that body. Gets a great look inside the cab at Tony Oaks as he tries to take the donut lead away from Kristen Anderson. They've been battling all season long, and Tony Oaks gets a 9.227, so he does in fact take the lead. Soldier Fortune Black Ops now the one to beat in donuts. Terminal velocity, John Zimmer Jr. That dirt a little heavier on this side of the track. We saw it giving Mark Hall fits, and now John Zimmer Jr. with a 7.807 score. And Blake Ranger in Max D going to try to recover from an almost disastrous Great Clips 2 Wheel Skills Challenge as he gets Max D down in a nice groove round and round and round. Fans counting those revolutions, going to give him a score of 8.417. And that means Tony Oaks is your donut winner. Let's send it down to check in with Matt Isbell.
That is how you do it. Congratulations, man.
Hey, I always have one rule of thumb when it comes to doing donuts, and that's hold the pedal to the metal till the sparks fly, baby.
You got one more competition now. This is where it gets real down right here. You and Kristen Anderson have been battling for the point series all season long. First and second place to go to World Finals. Well, I got something to tell you. Going to the freestyle, both of you are tied right now for the overall event championship. What can we expect from you, man?
Buddy, that's been the story all season long for me and Crust. Right there, Gravedigger, one of the best female competitors in Monster Jam. I got to give her props. Hey, we're going to go toe-to-toe, freestyle, Cincinnati. Hold on to your butts, because it's about to get hot.
Tony Oaks and Soldier Fortune Black Ops.
Much needed win there for Tony Oaks. As Matt mentioned, they are tied atop the BKT overall point standings leaderboard with one competition remaining. They both sit with 20 points. Elvis Lainez drops to third with 17, and Zach Gardner with 14. John Zimmer Jr. with 13, and Blake Ranger with 11. So 8 more points up for grabs. This will determine the overall event champion. As we've reached freestyle, each driver has to complete the first 15 seconds of his or her run to get a score. They want to use all the obstacles on that pod, and again, El Toro Loco. This is not the night for Elvis Lainez. He goes over again, second time in a row, as we take a look at the Super Glue Glue to the Action replay. And just as I was mentioning, he did not complete 15 seconds, so he does not get a score. Next out, Kurt Kramer in Hatzi. He's going to try to get that 15 seconds in. We see it a lot in Monster Jam. Drivers come out aggressive, and they don't get a score, and it costs them a lot of points, especially when it comes to a series championship and the overall marathon that is a series. You want to get every competition, every event, every point you can, and not hitting that time frame definitely hurts when it comes to those points. Now, Kurt Kramer has reached the mark, so he's going to continue his freestyle run here in Hatzi. Been driving Rammunition all season long, so great to see Hatzi back on a Monster Jam track. And Kurt Kramer now runs out. Looks like he runs out of room, but actually has a lot of room on that side of the track, just trying to get the truck going again. Truck not cooperating, goes over the single log, trying for a sky wheelie. Little slap wheelie combo move off the pod. Now Hatzi deep on the track. Kurt Kramer just trying to fight this thing here and get the run and park it back in the stall. Sometimes it's not about being aggressive and hitting those moves. It's about competing for another day, and that will be it for Kurt Kramer. He does have the lead, though. 5.404 is now the score to beat. Out next, Blake Ranger in Max D. Comes right off, gets the back two wheels grazed on those tires, gets him some nice air. Now the accomplished ATV champion out of Lafayette, Louisiana, trying to get an overall event championship. Max D now in a groove, hits the throttle off the pod. He goes one bounce, lands it on all four BKTs, runs out of room on that side of the track. You never want to see a driver hit reverse in freestyle. It takes precious seconds off the clock, but in arenas, sometimes you don't have a choice. Great sky wheelie from Max D. Comes back now trying to find some momentum over the tires, end over end jump, bounces right in that ditch, ends up squaring the truck back up as he now faces the 8-pack. And our first backflip attempt. Here comes Blake Ranger. He skies it, and he's going to end up on the side. Can he save it? No, he cannot. So a valid effort there as we take a look at the Super Glue to the action replay. Just came a little short. That is going to be enough to take the lead, though. 8.971 is the score. And now out of Champaign, Illinois, Mark Hall in Raminator heads onto the track. The wall right in front of Raminator, so he hits reverse, has to turn it hard to the right and get the tires back square. Comes off the tire stack up onto the pod and back down over the 8-pack. And these arena shows, the arena events with the smaller track, you have that pod that has those obstacles buried into it. It's about creativity. It's about getting creative with your run, going across the tire stack off the 8-pack. That's a great combo move, and it causes the truck to possibly go into chaos mode, which is what you want to see. Now Mark Hall reacting, going to throw a donut in, and then comes off the center lane onto the pod and back down the other side. Raminator now edging his way back over to the center pod, gets it over the tires, ends up a little short. And that'll do it from Mark Hall as we take a look at the Super Glue to the action replay. Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger. She has a shot here at the overall event championship, and she has to take advantage. She comes off the single log, her first jump of the run, and she lands it. Went really far out on that side of the track to keep her momentum, allows her to keep the truck going at the speed, at a top speed. In arenas, it's tough. These Monster Jam trucks can go from 60 to 70 miles an hour pretty quick on a stadium floor, a speedway. The long tracks here in the arena is more about control and about being precise, and she is doing an amazing job, and that's why not only is she gunning for the event championship, but she's been right at the top of those series points standings all year long. Comes off too hard, hits the brakes. Great turn, though, for her. She makes it quick as the seconds tick away here in Cincinnati. The event championship is on the line right here, and she's going to get a popper off of that. So a reactionary move for Kristen Anderson. Gets a popper into a nose wheelie, and I believe that will be the end of the run. No, she's got it back. The truck shut off. She's got it back running again. And in fact, that will be the end of the run. So not sure what happened to Gravedigger, but 8.827 is the score as we take a look at that nose wheelie. And the truck just did not want to cooperate with her for the remainder of the run. So now Zach Garner gets a shot in wild side. Out of Fortville, Indiana, the son of Overboard's Jamie Garner, making a name for himself in Monster Jam. I was on hand last year when Zach Garner took an event championship at Atlanta Motor Speedway as a fill-in driver. Made a lot of heads turn that night, and he has done the same thing so far in 2022. Wild side goes across the side of that single log, so some crossing it up here for Zach Garner. Coming back again, looking for a sky wheelie. Goes crooked on the jump, squares it back up, coming right down, threading the needle on the pod. We got another backflip attempt. Here goes wild side. He hits the brakes, didn't like the angle. Smart checkup for Zach Garner. Now he's got it right where he wants it. He sends wild side up and more of a sky wheelie. So he got caught up there on the 8-pack. pushed it too hard. As you take a look, the truck just goes straight up and backwards. 8.108 is the score for Zach Garner. Now Tony Oaks, Soldier Fortune Black Ops, he has another shot here at the event championship. We saw Kristen Anderson end her run a little early, so can Tony Oaks take advantage and walk out of Cincinnati with the overall event championship trophy? Gets up into a bicycle over the 8-pack. Nice save for Tony Oaks. His reverse now back up over the single log. Doesn't have a lot of momentum. Still gets the front end down. Swing Soldier Fortune Black Ops. A nice drift turn. Keeps the momentum. Goes over the tires. And then down through that center into a stoppie. Great move for Tony Oaks. And he's crab walking this thing now into a nose wheelie. The back wheels are turned. And Tony Oaks holding it there, stopping on a dime. And now the moonwalk back to the pod. This could be enough to take the event championship. He runs right into the 8-pack, is able to save it and continue this phenomenal run. Single log jump goes over the side, has a chance for another stoppie. The truck just too low to the ground to make it happen. But Tony Oaks, what a move, 8.780. That is not enough to take the lead. John Zimmer Jr. in terminal velocity is out on the track next, and he will try to get a freestyle win here to close out what's been a great weekend of Monster Jam action at the Heritage Bank Center. Single log jump, nice sky wheelie, gets the front tires down, a slap wheelie bounce. Continuing the speed here, terminal velocity. And John Zimmer Jr. having a phenomenal rookie season. I think the only driver maybe comparably in Monster Jam would be Weston Anderson, who's having a great year as well on Arena Championship Series East. But John Zimmer Jr. making quite a name and quite an impression on everybody in the entire sport. Terminal velocity comes back around deep over the single log again. Nice sky wheelie, goes off to the right. From one side of the track to another, it's all about what you do when you hit that pod, what obstacle you go over, and how you land it. And John Zimmer Jr. starting to put together a nice run here as we take a look at the Super Glue to the Action replay, 7.418. And it's going to be Blake Ranger in Max D getting a freestyle win. But take a look at the overall event point standings. Kristen Anderson by 1 point in freestyle will take the event championship over Tony Oaks, 27-26. Zach Garner will finish with 19. And Elvis Linez with 18. But Kristen Anderson is your overall event champion. And let's send it down to the track with Kristen Anderson from Gravedigger.
Cincinnati, I'm telling you what, it feels so good to be able to come back to this city. This is my 3rd time I've got to be Gravedigger for y'all. And you guys have always been so loyal and love that Gravedigger truck so much. Thank you guys for sticking with us to the very end. This one is for all those little girls that are sitting in the crowd tonight. We did it, girls. Y'all drive safe and come back and see us next time in Monster Jam.
So the series points lead stays with Kristen Anderson and Team Gravedigger as she winds down the weekend here, taking home the overall event championship. Make sure you follow us on social media at Monster Jam, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Use the hashtag Monster Jam on all of your posts. For anything sports related, including digital content, results, merchandise, and tickets, go to our website, monsterjam.com. For my co-hosts Matt Isbell and Christina Moore, I'm Scott Jordan. Good night from Cincinnati, and we'll see you next time on Arena Series in 25.